Welcome to the Luxury Listing Specialist Podcast with Michael LaFido, where top luxury agents reveal their best practices, plus interviews with real estate industry influencers, thought leaders, and luxury marketing experts. You'll come away from each episode with new strategies and tactics to dominate high-end homes in any market. And now for the latest episode of Luxury Listing Specialist. Here's your host, luxury real estate expert, coach, and trainer, Michael LaFido.
Welcome, everybody. Michael LaFido. Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. You're in the right place. If you're a broker owner, you're a team leader, you're an individual agent, and you're looking to work smarter, not harder, and bring more value to your marketplace, bring more value to your clients, then you're in the right spot. We have a really exciting topic today. We're going to be talking about ChatGPT. Perhaps you've heard about ChatGPT, so we're going to talk about what it is and what it isn't, and how it can potentially benefit you familiarizing yourself with ChatGPT. So I have an exciting guest that just did a big training earlier today, over an hour, spoke about it. And Blake is going to be on here in 1 minute, and we'll talk a little bit about what ChatGPT is and what you as a team leader, individual agent, or broker owner can be doing in your marketplace, because it's much more than just writing descriptions of properties and everything else. That's the very basic side of it, but that in itself will help some agents. So just a couple reminders: if you guys have any questions for me, the best way to shoot me a note is shoot me an email over at Michael@Marketing Luxury Group, Michael@Marketing Luxury Group. And if you're getting value from this episode or previous episodes, please leave us a like, leave us a review. And if you have a guest that you would like to nominate for our show, just shoot me an email, Michael@MarketingLuxuryGroup.com. And we're just about to make the formal release of our new book, which is Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. So if you are interested in hearing about more, we're going to have 20 exclusive contributors. And if you want to write your own chapter to our book, Secrets of Top Luxury Agents, make sure you shoot me an email, reach out to me. And then last but not least, Cabo, Mexico. We are going to be doing our full day designation training in Cabo, Mexico. You can go to luxurydesignation.com, luxurydesignation.com for more information, whether you want to join us in person or you just want to lock in some of the special pricing. You can reach out to us or go to luxurydesignation.com for more information. All right. So I'm going to be bringing on my guest here, and long story short, he's been in business for a long time, was a coach for Craig Proctor. Craig is what many people would say is one of the premier real estate coaches. He's an icon in the industry. And Blake was involved with Craig as a coach, but he's doing some amazing things right now. And rather than me just tell you about Blake, I'm going to bring Blake on. So first off, Blake Cory, how are you, Blake?
How you doing, Michael? I'm doing pretty well over here. I would usually say it's sunny Southern California, but really today it's cloudy SoCal. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Well, I just came back from Dubai and it was 80 degrees. I landed here in Chicago and there was snow on the ground. You're cloudy California. I'll take that over our snowy Chicago any day.
Yeah, you know what? Me too. I'm a warm weather guy. So when you say 80, I'm like, gosh, man, to get to our temperature back to 80, I'd give anything today. But yeah. It's much better, a little bit better than snow. I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. So the topic today is ChatGPT. But if you want to give everybody just a quick 30-second background on who you are, how many years you've been licensed, and then we'll kind of dive right into today's topic.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So everyone, my name is Blake Cory. I'm a broker here in California. I was a broker owner for 10 years, but I've been doing real estate now for 17 years. The beginning part of my journey, I was an agent, sold houses, worked with some investors. I got started in 2006. So I watched the whole financial collapse take place through the Great Recession. And then in 2015, I actually decided to start a team. And I went along that journey of starting a team and working through that process. And it's been an amazing ride. A lot of things I've learned along that journey. But in 2016, I sold 36 houses. In 2021, I sold 554 homes in the last 2 years alone. We sold over 1,000 homes. So it's been an amazing journey the last few years. I learned, like I said, there's keys to success in real estate. Very few people understand them. If you're going for a volume play, very few people understand the volume play, but those who do, man, once you unlock those secrets, everything changes. So it's been an amazing journey, though, especially the last few years. I coached for Craig Proctor for a while, was working part-time in my real estate business. We'd sell about 100 homes a year. And it wasn't until 2019 where I left the coaching world. I took the brakes off my real estate team, went full board, and that's where the exponential growth absolutely took place. And since that time, leveraging both people, human capital, and now the new AI and technology that's out there, it's enabled me to grow my business to, like I said, 1,000 transactions over 2 years, while only working inside my real estate team about 2 days a week. I work there Monday and Tuesday. I end about Tuesday about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then they only call me in when big problems need to be solved. So I've gone on to another chapter of helping people who are aspiring to grow big businesses. And now over the last few months, really went deep into ChatGPT. At our office, we call it Chatty because whoever did the branding over there with that was terrible. People are always getting PGT, GTP, all that mixed up. That's why we just cut it out and we go, all right, Chatty. So
Chatty, there you go. Chatty. Yeah. I use the term Chatty too, but when I'm describing clients, right? You got analytical Alex, analytical Amy, you got part-time Paul, part-time Patty, and then you got Chatty Kathy and Chatty Carl. So, but in this case, you got Chat GPT or Chatty, as Blake calls it. So Blake, man, I got to have you on again just to talk about how you're selling 1.52 homes a day based on 554 last year. So that's very impressive. So I'd love to circle back with you and maybe at the end talk a little bit more about that. But today's topic is Chatty or Chat GPT. And the description I had when we went live, for those of you that saw the description ahead of time, what AI and Chat GPT. So let's start at a very softball entry level. First time anybody's hearing what Chat GPT is, in a very simplistic definition, explanation. How would you answer that, Blake?
Yeah, it's a question I get asked a lot. But let me start here. For all your viewers and listeners, buckle up your seatbelts, folks. Buckle up. Take a seat. If you're listening to this, you're standing up, moving around. If you're driving, pull over, because we're about to talk about probably in my 17-year career in this industry, I have never seen something like the tool we're about to talk about today. When I first saw what it had the capability of doing, I said, this is not going to change the real estate industry. This is going to change the world as we know it. And just earlier, Michael, I did a whole presentation, 90-minute overview. I mean, it was one-on-one. It was the basics. Most people had never even been through Chatty or experimented with it. By the time I was done, I knew what was going to happen. It's exactly it. Some people were fearful out of their mind. Some people were sick to their stomach. But what I reminded them, and I'm going to remind all your listeners and viewers right now, everything we're about to go over, you've got two choices. You get in front of it and you grow your business exponentially. You supercharge your business, or there's a high likelihood you're going to die, simply because this is increasing the top performers' efficiency, productivity, sales, profit, you name it. And you're going to see, we always talk about this in U.S. politics, right? The separation in the middle class, there's the rich, and then there's the poor. That's exactly what this tool is going to do, my prediction. My prediction is it is going to separate the real estate industry. Now, what is it, right? What is it? I'm not, listen, I'm not a techie person whatsoever. I don't write code. I don't, develop websites and do this stuff. I'm a real estate guy. I build real estate businesses and help others do that. So I'm going to break this down as simply as I possibly can for your viewers and listeners, because they're real estate people, just like me and you. Imagine it's a two-way chat communication. But imagine you're talking to a robot with a massive brain on the other side. You don't have to break down every question. It gets smarter based on the questioning you ask. Imagine going to a search engine and typing in a question and not having to decipher through different websites. Imagine the search engine just gives you the answer to your question, right? It is a robot with a giant brain. That's all I can say. It is a program that you go to, you ask it any question. Now I'm going to highlight that in a moment, the questioning or prompting phase, but you ask it any question that you want and it will go, and it has every resource on the internet, everything that's on the internet, it knows, and it has it at its immediate disposal to disperse the answer to your question. Anything from real estate, business, to gluten-free vegan chocolate chip cookies in less than 10 minutes, right? It has the answers. So it is just it's a marketing assistant, it's a personal assistant, whatever you want to call it. It is the know-all be-all, and it is a giant brain on the other side of the computer.
Yeah, that's a great explanation of it. I do appreciate that. And again, those of you that are watching the live stream, again, you can type in your questions in the comments section. You guys don't have to download anything, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Type in your questions for me or Blake. And those of you that are watching a replay of this on YouTube, again, our YouTube channel, for those of you that are watching this, go to YouTube, and it's just, our tag is just at Luxury Specialist. If you go to at Luxury Specialist, hit that subscribe button. You can ask me a question. You can ask Blake a question. If you're watching a replay, the best, you can type in a comment there or shoot an email over to me, and we'll get that question to Blake if it's geared towards him. So some really good information there on the supercomputer side of things. I like the way you explained that, Blake. That was very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who are watching and listening, just think about that old Will Smith movie, right? That Will Smith movie where iRobot, and here comes the robot out to service and help its owner at that time, and pretty much can answer any question. The freaky thing is, Michael, we're here, right? That thing exists, maybe not in physical form yet, but on your computer, it exists. And that's what this is. This is a tool to accelerate and supercharge your, not only business, but your life. It exists, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It is amazing. I'm so excited about it.
So let's talk about some ways that agents, right? So I try to keep it really simple. And so our audience are individual agents, broker owners, team leaders. And so let's talk about some ways that you're seeing, because it's been out for a few months now. I think it was released maybe in November of 2022. But really it's starting to get traction over, every day, every week, I'm seeing more and more, right? It's called the reticulator activator, right? Remember that part of your brain that remembers certain things. So once you see ChatGPT, like, you can't unsee it, right? But you also, start to see more and more of it. So from a basic level, I mean, you can, you can get property descriptions. Some agents have a tough time struggling with, how do I write a description for this home that's never been listed, right? So you can literally type in, and I have on my screen just something very basic. This is one of those examples, but this would be just a screenshot. And I know it's tough to read it, but write a property description for this 5-bedroom, 3-bath home for sale at, and then you put the address. It's got a fenced in yard, and you put in as much information as possible. You can put in ChatGPT to, who your audience is. My audience is a sophisticated buyer. And then it will use more sophisticated language. I mean, you can have fun with something. I have a friend that's a Purdue basketball fan, and he said, describe this year's Purdue basketball team in the voice of Donald Trump. And so then, it was describing the basketball team, saying they're great, all this stuff, right? So, you can have fun with it, but let's talk a little bit about, this is an example of a description, but let's talk about, besides property descriptions, what are some other ways, Blake, that you're seeing? Well, before we go to other ways, let's start with property descriptions. What are you seeing as far as do's, don'ts, and best practices?
Yeah, so that's a really great question, Michael. When it comes to, by the way, listing descriptions, and I'm going to tell you that one word will change your answer when prompting Chatty. So hear me, folks. This system is only as good as the person utilizing the system, meaning it's only as good as the questions we ask and the prompts that we give it. Just by what you saw Michael do, saying, hey, a property description, if I replace that word with listing description, it instantly will change the output. It will take it from Michael's one paragraph and make 3 paragraphs based on the property. This technology is going out and taking information from anything online about that property. And to your point, if nothing exists, it's going to highlight and accentuate the short description you provided about it. The more information you give it, the more it will do for you. But Michael, I've taken it and I actually did this earlier in training. I put it in there and I have a recorded video of this for agents. And if any agent wants it, I'm going to tell them how they can get it later. But I said, a listing description about 860 Passiflora. It's 4-bed, 3-bath, has an ocean view. It's near Encinitas Ranch Golf Course, quiet street, right in a cul-de-sac. And I said, create a listing description. Boom, 3 paragraphs long. Perfect for it. But here's the thing, the difference between a property description and a listing description. See, I have a team of experts who have all just been going through this. Not only my team at Cory Home Team, but I have another team that has been just exploring the prompts and going through ifs and what ifs and then try this. So earlier today, I was able to show agents in under 5 minutes how we created a listing description for the property. Once it was perfect, because I even said, after it created it, I said, now do it in a Californian tone, a tone based on people from California. We speak differently, right? Texas people, they speak differently. Midwesterns speak differently. New Yorkers speak differently. Do it in a California tone, semi-casual and semi-young, because my audience group in the suburbs right now and where we sell houses is 30 to 45 years old, right? So it did it. And,
wow.
And it instantly did it. It was perfect, right? It was perfect. But then we took it a step further. Great. Now I asked it, now, where are other places that I can run ads to attract buyers? And it gave me a list. And in that list, it said social media. Social media was the number 3 checklist. Guess what I did? I wrote, tell me more about number 3. I didn't even need to say social media. It knew what I was saying because we're having a 2-way conversation. Like, this is the brain side of it. So I said, tell me more about number 3. It did talk to me about Facebook and this and that and the next. Okay. So I said, great, write me a Facebook post, include emojis and trending hashtags. It did it. And it was done. And it took it from the description above and it created that post. And then I said, now create a Facebook marketplace post. It did it. Now create a 1-minute Facebook live script. It did it. Now create a 2-minute YouTube script. It did it.
Wow.
Now create a blast email to send to my database. I have a relationship with these people. Keep it in a Californian tone, under 400 words. Done. So in the matter of less than,
and when you say done, like I've done similar, right? And it's literally like a send button, and like literally, I'll show everybody just that they're not familiar with it, but you know, this is where. Oh, sorry, here that's messed up there. Well, I'm going to stop sharing because for whatever reason it's not.
No, you're good.
Yeah, but the point is, literally, you can. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to take your comment on here. Like literally, you would type that in here. You know, tell me, and you type this in, and you'd hit this little send button right here, and boom, within 30 seconds of those prompts that you just described it, or less, right, Blake? It's spitting out those answers.
Yep. It's spitting out those answers immediately. But like I said, it's all based on the person asking the questions. We are finding right now, our studies are showing that 90% of realtors are going in, typing a question, getting an answer, and then ending. They're not continuing the conversation. And whether it's what they're looking for or not, the realtors are not asking second, third, fourth level questioning, second, third, fourth level refinement. They're not condensing. They're not expanding. I mean, it's mind blowing. See, and that's why I say it's as good as the person asking the prompts.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah. So you had some really great questions there. I like to speak as if I'm talking to, somebody in this demographic. I'm a little afraid if I had them write a listing description in a Chicago tone, it would sound like Mike Ditka.
Mike
I
Ditka.
might say
Yeah.
Bears, Polish sausage. No, in all seriousness, that's very interesting. And I wonder, have you played around with language, right? So Chicago's a melting pot. So, now write the listing description in Spanish. Now write it in Polish or whatever.
It will do that. It usually does start the statement of my Spanish is not that good. The funny part is it says it in Spanish. So It actually starts with, and they let you know, because just like English, there's so much slang terminology used. Proper versus slang is a little bit different, but yes, it will write it in other languages, which is amazing. And to your point, melting pot, you talk about Spanish, Polish, Russian, different languages in different marketplaces. It will absolutely do that.
Wow. That's now, one of the things I've been seeing too, though, is, I tell people, just like Michael Jordan once says, you don't talk politics. Well, ChatGPT does have some leanings politically based on what I'm seeing. Some people, hey, type me a description on Joe Biden or Donald Trump, and they're not neutral that way, as well as some other controversial stuff. But we're talking real estate today, folks. But you can definitely have fun with ChatGPT. All right, so descriptions, advertisements, writing a post, give me a script for a YouTube video, keep it 2 minutes or less. So you're going into some depth, Blake, that I wasn't even familiar with. What are some other things that you're seeing out there today that our audience might be interested in, and how to leverage and how to utilize all that ChatGPT, or chatty as you call it, offers?
Yeah. So, there's two ways I really want to get into today with your viewers and your listeners, based on the level they're at in their real estate practice. Most people know inside of real estate, there's prospecting dialing, right? A lot of us have done it. Cold calling, calling expireds, calling FSBOs, calling people like that. But we use it actually in our business to refine the scripting that our inside sales department uses. That's one beginner level way. So I showed agents earlier today that you can actually go in there and just type, create me a script to make outbound calls to expired listings with the philosophies of Mike Ferry. Done. 30 seconds later, Mike Ferry, done. I showed them earlier, there was a guy back in the day, Joshua Smith, used to do mega open houses. You can ask Chatty for the framework of his mega open houses, and then ask it to go into depth on how to do it. Done. Because this information's out online already. This supercomputer, this brain has collected all this data. So now you're going, before this script for Mike Ferry was behind closed doors, unless it was on the black market and distributed to people in the office. Now I just go ask it to create it. And then, so about playing around with this about 2.5 months ago in my office, 3 months ago, I said, all right, create me a script, expired listings, So did. I said, okay, the value proposition that we have is we have a database full of buyers. We possibly already have a buyer for your home. Add that as the value proposition. And it redid it. Done. Okay, great. We got the script after about 2 minutes, perfect to what we felt was the optimal script to go out and call expired listings, because they're becoming more popular in our marketplace again with the market shift. I asked it to then create a 5-day email sequence based on that script. Done. Create a 3-day text message sequence. Done. And then I asked it to direct me to the software that could help me integrate everything to automate our expired listing system. Within 24 hours, Michael, we not only found the company that'll make the outbound dials with the scripting that we can provide them, but we automated the email, text message, and direct mail follow-up sequence where now we actually don't do anything. The end result are people being put onto the calendar of my lead listing agent to go out and meet with about the sale of their home. Chatty helped us automate the whole thing in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
It was unbelievable because now even the data that comes in, the data integrates, it's distributed to these companies. This direct mail starts and Chatty wrote the direct mail. This over here happens. Outbound calls are being made. Email sequences are being followed up with AI. What a normal agent does, manually picking up the phone, we can do automatically and do it at the highest level.
So, I'm a big Dan S. Kennedy guy, direct response marketer, right? So,
no BS,
so what I hear you saying is,
BS.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, what I hear you saying is, I could say, write me a description of this property, or write me a description on this postcard that's 100 words or less in a direct response call to action, something that you'd see in Dan Kennedy's whatever book. And if there's information online, it might say, I don't understand, or it might say whatever, but it might come back with that information if enough out there in my prompts.
Yes, exactly. So odds are the first time you ask it, it may not know because it's all about the prompting. So you would go based on the philosophies because it will not infringe on copywriting, right? It's not going to break the law, but based on the philosophies of this individual, which are distributed through the internet, we'll create it for you.
Nice.
It'll be done.
Nice.
It's unreal. And then you can also ask it because Dan Kennedy's also a big ugly yellow thing, right? Letters, get long form, direct response mail. You can ask it what companies will automate this on ugly yellow paper, like things like that, and it will find it for you.
Wow.
So it's absolutely amazing. I mean, that's just another way. But this is why I said the separation of classes earlier. These super agents, and we're going to call them super agents now because they're powered by AI. I can do more expired listing faster, more efficient, with consistency than any other agent in my marketplace. How are they ever going to compete with me? Right?
Yeah. So you talked about leveraging it for prospecting, leveraging it for listing, for property descriptions, listing descriptions. Obviously, you can do it for hiring team members, for hiring a personal assistant. There's just infinite ways that you can leverage this. What else am I missing? What else should I be asking you about with ChatGPT or Blake, like you call Chatty, that I haven't, maybe that you discussed on your 90-minute? We're typically around a half hour on our shows, but we have some time left. What else should I be asking you, or that you think the audience should know about?
Yeah. That's so something that we didn't talk about earlier. It's a little bit further advanced for businesses, but forecasting tools to predict future profitability in your real estate business. So you can ask it. And I had some of these tools in place, but even Chatty taught me a thing or two. But we have financial models and forecasting reports in place to predict the future. Because for me, being in real estate for 17 years, when I was single, live by the sword, die by the sword, right? Make a bunch of money in commission one month, and sometimes you didn't make it next month. But as I've gotten married, and I just had my third daughter a few months ago, 3 daughters, right?
Wow.
3 daughters.
God bless you.
3 weddings, 3 cars, private school, I need predictability in my life for my wife and the girls. So for me, I needed to see into the future. Stare her down in the eyes and say what's coming, because I didn't want this live by the sword, die by the sword. And I got a lot more predictability in growing a team, right? When you sell that many houses, you have 2 or 3 fall out, no big deal. That happens every single month, right?
Right.
But I wanted to see profitability forecasting because, Michael, after doing this and now coaching people for over 8 years, that's the number one thing that I see from real estate team leaders is they sell a lot of houses, but they don't net a lot of money. They're either out there still selling and making commission, and some have big teams, do big volumes, but their expenses are out of control, cost of sale out of control, and they're really netting not much money. A lot of their team members take home more money than they do.
Mhm.
And so with that being said, I wanted to make sure that that never was happening in my business, that my business was healthy, thriving, profitable. So I wanted to get forecasting tools in place, key metrics that I could see and review on a weekly basis that were going to tell me the likelihood of profitability 1, 2, and 3 months down the road. Now, in real estate, there's not a lot of files, over 45 days on the books. Usually most of our files that are converted clients are within 45 days. But I can tell you with pretty close accuracy, within 3%, as a matter of fact, what the likelihood of hitting our profitability target is 45 days in advance with these key metrics. You can go into chatting, ask it. And I invite your viewers and listeners to ask it. What is a forecasted labor efficiency ratio? What is a forecasted lead generation efficiency ratio? I own a real estate company. How do I decrease the cost of sale that I pay my agents? Like all these different questions, but it will explain to you what they are. And then you can start to ask it, what is the formula that I need to input? Or what is the formula that I need to use to track this? How can I automatically track this in my real estate business? And so it's amazing. And you can even say, when it's off, what do I do? How do I troubleshoot it? I mean, just earlier today, I was working with a team leader, and they were having an issue learning how to have a talk track with their agents to overcome a key metric that they were not hitting, which was taking people from showings to offers. They're like, what is my system to coach them? I said, go into chatting, ask the question. And they did. I said, well, you're asking the wrong question. Ask it like this. And they did. And they got the answers, Michael, almost as well as I could explain to them. But now, since I only had a couple of minutes on the phone with them, they can now take the next 30 minutes and really go deep to solve the high level problems inside of a real estate sales business. So but one of the secrets is learning how to forecast the future for future profitability in your business.
Yeah, and that's some really good information for those team leaders, broker owners, or even just as an individual agent. I appreciate that, Blake. Now, one thing that everybody, this is kind of a CYA, but when you're dealing with ChatGPT, I mean, you have to think about fair housing with descriptions as well, agents. So if you're not sure, check with your broker on this. But again, you can't necessarily just rely on what ChatGPT is telling you, because we have a code of ethics, and you have fair housing you have to deal with descriptions and buzzwords that might be frowned upon in our industry. So if you're not sure, check with your broker owner, your team lead on something. I want to make sure that I cover that, because if you literally just take everything and plop it in, there could be some fair housing issues.
Yep. And to be fair, Michael, you're absolutely correct. Take that listing description and ask it to make it compliant with fair housing. Make it compliant. And it will only do so good. You have to use your expertise in the industry, but we've seen that description and those ads change. And a lot of those buzzwords go away. And it was absolutely amazing.
That's great. Good information. So I have in the chat feature, is this there's not multiple ones. So Blake, I'm sure this is what you're using too, right? Chat.openai.com.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the URL for anybody watching or listening. Say, well, how do I find out? You can Google ChatGPT, but the URL is just chat.openai.com, and then you'll have to create an account. Sometimes, depending on the time of day, answers are a little bit slower and longer. Have you found that too? Any words of recommendation there for those that maybe have tried it or got frustrated? Because I know I'd been on my first time I was on, it was really slow. I thought it was user error. And then the next time, Blake, everything was fine. What are you finding?
Yes. So that's how it was for us a couple of months ago. We were fortunate enough to actually beta test their new Elite So we've had their elite for a little while now, but
Is that their paid? Is that their paid?
Yeah, that's their paid. So they just released that to the US. A lot of people got emails about it just yesterday. They've now opened that up to users based in the United States. For $20 a month, you can get their elite version, which increases the speed of response, which it's a huge difference, right?
Okay.
If you're going to use it a lot in your business, which my entire team uses it every day, we have those paid versions to even increase the speed even faster. But yeah, a lot of people are using it, right? A lot of people are going there, and this brain is just trying to decipher, go through all this information. So it does get slow from time to time. But yeah, if you have the ability, if you see that button, click it, get the elite. It's lights out, amazing.
It's great information. So do you have any, you were on for an hour and a half earlier, and you mentioned some resources. If for those that are watching and they maybe want to get in touch with you, or maybe you have this recording from this more advanced hour and a half training, what's the best way for somebody to find that, Blake?
Yeah. So, we actually started a community online. So this community is called Grow or Die, because essentially that's what it is. Grow with AI or be put out of business. Grow or die in your real estate business. And this is specifically for real estate agents. It's run by real estate agents for real estate agents, but it's a collective community of people looking at how to optimize and supercharge their business with AI. There's a discussion there's the discussion area, there's bulletin boards. I actually do a training in there every single week about how my team is utilizing this tool. And now other team leaders and real estate agents from around the country are getting involved. This just got launched a few days ago, and the demand has been unreal.
So it's a Facebook group called Grow.
It's not a Facebook group. It's actually off Facebook. So nobody controlled or censored the information being distributed. It's through a platform called Kajabi. I'm going to actually get, if your viewers or listeners go into in the chat section or the description, and Michael, I'm going to get you over the link.
Perfect.
You'll be able to click it, download it. So when we opened this up, it was $20 a month for people to be a part of this community. But for your viewers and listeners, we're sending you the link where it's completely for free. Completely free training, completely free dialogue. But this is specifically the one thing it's for is for real estate agents who want to optimize and supercharge their business with chatty and AI. If they're going in there to give referrals, wrong place, right? If they're going in there to
I got a listing. I got a new listing. It's wrong place.
Wrong place. To complain about Zillow and Realtor.com, wrong place. Yeah. To share information with one another and insights on new technology, softwares, and platforms, this is the space. So like I said, it's usually $20 for users. For your viewers and listeners, we're giving a link completely for free. Wow. Guys, get in there. It's gonna, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us on your show, because one of my things in life is to change people's lives, right? Change people's lives. My life has been changed by some of the mentors that I've had in my life. And I hope we can do the same for people on here, even if it was just one person. I hope this will change their life. And you guys, you're either going to get in front of this or you're going to die. That's why the group is called Grow or Die. Evolve as a real estate professional. And this is the group you go to do that.
Well, that's terrific. I do appreciate it. And for anybody that is watching a replay of this, you can shoot me an email, Michael at Marketing Luxury Group, and we'll get you that link. Again, each Friday we come to you typically at noon Eastern, 11 Central, but Blake was so kind to fit me in his schedule. We had Tristan from Lab Coat Agents had something come up, and Blake, I saw him post something about his 90-minute training. And so him and I, while I was in Dubai, you and your staff were excellent to make time for us. I greatly appreciate that. And what's the best way for people to stay in contact with you?
Yeah, the best way to stay in contact, you can go on to my social media platforms, either Facebook, Instagram, and look at me, and follow me through there. I also have a new YouTube channel. So just so you know, our YouTube channel is going to be full of content. related to AI, chatty. I mean, people are going to get great insights, or they can always go to blakecorycoaching.com and look up information there as well. Anything they want, free downloads, reports. But the best place, social media, YouTube. But hopefully your people will join the group, because that's where they're going to have direct access to the insights on this and the ability to even communicate with me directly through that group.
Yeah, that's great information. Again, Blake Cory, and that's Cory, Blake Cory, and Blake. Blake, I appreciate your time. Stick around for a minute once I'm done here. I want to catch up with you on something else, but we got Blake Cory here providing some amazing information on ChatGPT, or Chatty as he referred to it. I hope this was helpful to everybody. Again, I'm your host, Michael LaFido, and if you're getting value from this training, by the way, I'm putting the link on here on the community. I was sent it by your staff, so thank you. I just put it on here in the chat feature. If you're getting value, everybody, from this training, please leave us a like, leave us a review. Those of you that see it across the screen, here's the community there. Blake Cory, some great information today. Again, the goal for Luxury Specialist is to help agents raise the bar, to provide tools, resources, so that they can win more clients and differentiate themselves, thus protecting the consumer. Ultimately, that's why we launched our course. That's why we wrote our books and have our designation. So if you guys are getting value, please leave us a like, leave us a review if we've earned that. Again, I'm your host, Michael LaFido. And remember, life is what drives real estate. It doesn't matter who the president is, what interest rates are. Ultimately, somebody's moving up, someone's downsizing, people are moving out of state, people are relocating, people get their dream job, people unfortunately lose their job. And that's what drives my business and yours. Again, do good, raise the bar, and that's what consultants do versus salespeople. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. Until next time you're listening to another episode, make it a great day and prove others wrong. Take care.